Hello and welcome back to Ritual Audio. Today we're looking at the Minifreak again. I've had it just over a week now, so I'm going to run through 5 patches that I've made with the Granular oscillators over the last week and just quickly show off the audio in feature playing some guitar. First and foremost, one thing you will need to remember is that unless a key is being played, the filter will not open, so you won't actually be able to hear the instrument that's coming through the audio input. So to combat this, I like to just set up an ARP, play a note, and then press the hold button. That will ensure that you've always got a nice open envelope and fuss sound. One cool thing we can do here as well is if we just add the resonance, get that sort of early 2000s kind of bonobo sound, I guess. Very fun. It's almost like wah, but I don't know, I'm not really a fan of wah. It's kind of more organic sounding, I guess, than wah. Much nicer. Some other things I do have going on here is I have the LFO controlling the cutoff. It's not as immediately obvious, but it is if we turn the envelope down a little bit like that. You can hear. So if we change the rate, obviously some ranging between usable and unusable sounds. And we bring the cutoff right down. In this preset, if we bring up the volume of the second oscillator, which is the comb filter, things can get very, very strange very, very quickly. We mess with the wave here. And if we just add the Boss RE202 space echo to this, still got the sample and hold filter controlling the cutoff, and the speed of that is being controlled by LFO to LFO2. I think you can definitely create some amazing textures for your music with this. Okay, so now sat at the Minifreak, our first preset is called Grain Keys. We've got 2 oscillators on this one. We've got the raster oscillator, which is one of the granular oscillators. We just have LFO1 controlling the start point. That brings in the really nice sort of dreamy pad-like effect afterwards. with a little bit of aftertouch there as well. Also got oscillator 2, is the car plus string. That's just brought down in the mix and it's just filling the sound out. And macro 1, we've just assigned attack to. Obviously could just play with the attack over here, but why not assign it? Makes it look like you're doing something here. What's nice about this preset is that you've kind of got a keys sound. Or bring macro 1 up and you've got a pad sound. For me, I really love presets where lots of stuff comes in, noise, ugly stuff mixing with beautiful stuff, creates a really nice ethereal sound. Okay, for the next preset here, which is called FM Grains, we're really leaning into the freak side of the Minifreak. So in this preset, we've got again 2 oscillators. The first oscillator is the lick oscillator, which is one of the granular oscillators. It's just playing a sample of, I believe, a piece of wood. We've got LFO1 controlling the start point, which makes it come in over time quite nicely. That's it on its own. We can now bring up the second oscillator, which I like to bring up carefully. This is the 2 operator FM. We've got some glide going on there. Kind of like a nightmare pad key sound. Again, the wood hits, the granular wood hits probably could be quieter. Kind of pronouncing them a little bit more just so they can be heard. Again, I do really like when you take a nice, or fairly nice sound and just create a little bit of a mess out of it. There's also LFO1 controlling the amount of the bit crusher, which just comes in ever so quietly. A good tip is you can actually use the bit crusher like a noise oscillator if you just use it for the noise side of things. I just like to use the LFO to bring it in ever so quietly over time. And if we want more harmonic content in our sound, more of that FM goodness, we can just bring up the feedback. Another preset that leans into the freaky side of the Minifreak is appropriately named Death Pad. Could possibly be the sound that you hear upon dying. There's quite a lot going on here, so there's 2 oscillators. We've got the Cloud Grains oscillator, which is this lovely portion of the sound. And it's just warbling around with LFO1. The start point is warbling around. But not only is LFO1 controlling the start point, but LFO1's speed is also being controlled by LFO2, which is set up as a sample and hold shape. So that gets pretty chaotic on its own. So almost for a little bit of stability, we bring in the superwave oscillator. We also have LFO1 controlling the speed of the delay. We have the cycling envelope controlling the cutoff. And also LFO1 is just controlling the detune on the superwave. And also if we bring in macro 1, not only does it increase the attack time, it also increases the resonance, so we can get those nice swoosh sounds. On top of that, there's also a little bit of reverb going on and a little bit of bit crusher, which again, as I like to do on a lot of patches, it comes in and out with LFO2 in this case. With this patch, I really like how when the start point of the cloud grains is kind of getting erratic because the sample and hold wave of LFO2 is all over the place, I like how it smooths off every now and then and it almost resolves the pad. This next preset is called FM Def. Really unpredictable pad sound. The difference between this and some of the previous sounds is that the FM/ring modulate oscillator is actually the more chaotic side here. So if we turn it down, oscillator 1, which is the particle granulator, is just really pretty. It's a pretty key sound. The start point is being wiggled around just a little bit, nothing too over the top. Now, when we bring in the FM/ring modulate, what I'm intentionally doing on this preset is bringing up the volume of the ring modulator and the actual amount of ring modulator at the same time. Almost gives it this kind of lightning crash dramatic effect as it comes in. Fun nonetheless. A little bit of glide on this preset. Do have a free band EQ, just taking some of the high end off. That FM/RM oscillator can get very, very tinny very quickly. Touch of reverb and a little bit of phase. LFO1 is controlling the time of the phaser. Give it a little bit more swooshiness. Final preset that I'm just going to show quickly today is called Dream Death. I'm not really sure what happened with the naming themes of these presets. We're using the frozen granulator. This is really pushing granular synthesis to its limits because I believe this to be a sample of just a simple woodblock hit. Got LFO1 is just controlling the speed again. It's really slow and it's running on a free cycle. You just hear now as it goes through its start point. We then have the cycling envelope, which is controlling the analog filter. It's just like a really nice background ethereal sound, especially for those cinematic vibes. You just want to make something really unsettling in the background. Just got a little bit of phase, a little bit of delay, a little bit of reverb. Like the last preset, the speed of the phase is being controlled by, in this case, LF1 also. And if you start to mess with the timbre knob of the frozen granulator, you can get some more chaotic sounds. That's going to do it for today. Please let me know what you think of the Minifreak. Let me know if you've used the granular oscillators. As I mentioned in my last video, I think it's a really massive shame that you can't upload your own samples. Since you can on the Microfreak, I am led to believe that this will come to the Minifreak at some point. The samples on board are great. You can absolutely push them to their limits, but being able to upload your own samples would just be really fantastic. If you're enjoying this content so far, please do like and subscribe. Leave me a comment below. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.